All right, guys, we're gonna cut the vibe start short. We're 1 minute in, got 100 people online. Let's go. So, welcome to our weekly call with AIRO. This is a 101 call every Sunday night, 10 Eastern. Yours truly, Nathan Williams, the developer of AIRO. I'll be on with you guys talking about everything and all thing AIRO. Shout out to my man Jack. He was trading with Bitcoin this weekend. Yeah, he's up 4.5%. With AIRO. Hey, can't beat it. AIRO works on cryptocurrencies for those who definitely know how to utilize the product, can make money even on the weekends. Money doesn't stop. Double up. All right. Let's see here. Let's get started here. So, hey, couple rules. Number one rule, if you have a question, put it in the Q&A box so that I can get to you. Answer any questions you may have. This is a one-way talk, so I'm the only one talking. It's not a typical Zoom session. At least the setup is set up, so it's in a webinar format. So to ask any questions, make sure to put it in the Q&A box. If you guys want to chat amongst each other, you can put it in the chat. But any questions for me to directly put it in the Q&A box, and I'll periodically get to those questions throughout the actual call here, okay? Number two, we'll start off with let me share my screen real quick. We're gonna start off with a disclaimer. As you guys know, anytime you are trading in Forex, there are no guarantees. Past profits do not guarantee future results. The goal of this call is to give you guys the 411 on the actual software itself to help you be successful, but there are no guarantees. All right, so keep that in mind. And we'll stop that share there. So before we jump into the actual software, let me just start by, for everyone that's brand new, hey, thank you for, taking a leap of faith with me, as well as the others, to join the AIRO family. And we got some exciting things coming up for you guys. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for you guys and the movement we're getting ready to create, around this product, with this company of Auvoria Prime, as well as, with just, this industry of Forex trading. All right. I've been trading over 4 years in the Forex market, over 13 years, just trading period in the financial markets. And, I've been an educator as well, in my days of school, college, high school, after college with kids. And the one thing that I've learned is that you have to make whatever it is you're teaching as simple and as easy as possible for others to, comprehend. Some will catch on sooner, but you still want to make it as easy as possible to help out with the learning curve, because the goal is to get them from not understanding to understanding as quick as possible. And that's the whole goal. All right. So I created this product because I had a strategy that worked. Some that I taught parts of this strategy to had success. Most didn't. And so I wanted to make it easy. As I know the Forex market, as I looked at it, I saw that it's visual. You have to actually know what's going on the chart. So my whole goal was, how do I create a product that can visually help others to see what it is that I see and other successful traders see in the market as well? The end product is AIRO, which has become even better than what it was initially when I first had the opportunity to share it with Auvoria Prime, because the beta test team here at Auvoria Prime helped me take it from good to great, and then you guys are going to help me take it from great to greater, as we take this, to the next level. All right. So before I jump into the charts, so we go over everything here, let me look in the questions here. Sherelle, yes, it does work on cryptocurrency. As I always tell everybody, make sure you practice on demo before you actually trade live. What I'll tell you about cryptocurrency though is the money zone only works for Forex. The money zone is only around the Forex pairs. So anything outside of the Forex pairs, you do not utilize, the money zone as your target. For those who don't know what the money zone is, we'll talk about that here shortly. How important is it to have stop loss to be an opposite cover zone? So Charles, stop loss is important from the standpoint of you want to make sure you practice proper risk management. You don't want to just put a trade on and that's it, unless you're going to be watching the chart yourself. But the whole goal of your stop loss is to ensure that once you've done your analysis and you put the trade on in the direction you believe it's going to go, if the trade happens to go the wrong way, you want to cut your losses short so that you can live to trade another day. All right. Ryan, yes, I'll show where crypto is on MT4. So it all depends on your brokers, guys. We'll go over that. But I know a lot of people have asked me last week about some basic questions around how to put trades on, how do you move stop loss and take profit, things of that nature. So I'm going to show some of that things tonight. And I'm working with Auvoria Prime on, providing some of these one-on-one aspects of trading, for all the beginners. All right. So 2 commas mama. Whenever you change time frames, sometimes you have to reload the indicator. So when you change it to the monthly, put the indicator, put AIRO back onto the chart, and it should pop up then. Live trading session, Wednesdays. So guys, if everybody doesn't know, Wednesday from 12 midnight my time, Central Standard Time, to 3 a.m., I have live trading sessions. So that started last week. And we'll look at it. We'll look to continue that every week going forward, and look to expound on that as well. Actually, I recommend the 5 or 15 minute for crypto, but it all depends on your style of trading and your account size. Luke will go over the pairs for AIRO today, and Hernan, yes, 300 leverage will work, but I always recommend that whatever broker you're using, you want to get the max leverage. Charles, that's correct. And we'll talk about that as well when we jump on the charts. All right. All right, guys. Let me jump out of here. These Q&As. Let's get into the actual chart itself. We are more than double what we had last week, closing in on 200 plus people on the call. Let's get it. All right. So let me pull up my chart real quick. All right, guys. I'm in MT4 here. All right, so let's get started. If you can see my screen, I need to see some bags. BH, I need to see some, either the word bag or I need to see the bag symbol, in the chat. Blow it up. I need to see the bag. Let's go. That money bag. There it is. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we on the call. Let's go. All right. We awake. Everybody can see the screen. Great. So this is MT4. For those who don't know about it, we'll have some more additional calls. Make sure to go to AP Academy in your back office to watch, basic 101 courses on Forex trading. A lot of this information is covered back there. And you'll have a lot of your answers, asked there. This call is mainly for AIRO, and we will speak to that. I'll speak to some of the basics, but this call is mainly for AIRO, and I will continue to work with Auvoria Prime to ensure that we have the proper education vehicle to ensure that you guys are getting the ongoing training all the beginners need, that are just now getting started, with this company and in this industry. So when you start with AIRO and you launch your VPS in the background, you'll typically get a chart, and I've made mine look different. This is not a standard chart, but let me pull up here my properties. If you got a phone or you can screenshot on your computer, go ahead and take a screenshot of this. I'm gonna show you the settings that will let your chart look exactly like mine. So you have the red candles, the green candles, and we'll talk more about these as well. So this is the colors. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that, and then I'm gonna go over to the comment here. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. Those are the exact settings that I utilize that you guys can actually set up your chart so it looks exactly like mine. All right. Back to colors here. Here are the colors. And then back to comment. Go ahead and take the screenshots. All right. Now, how did I get to that? Right click on the black part of the screen. You'll get this menu that pops up. Scroll down to the bottom to properties, hit properties. Or you can just select F8 if you have the F8 function on your actual computer. All right. I don't have it. On my laptop, typically that's for desktops. All right. That's where you find you can make those changes. You hit OK, and you're good to go. Then your chart will look exactly like this. All right. All right, great. So when you get started and you have your chart looking like this, the first thing you want to do is you want to come up here on the actual menu bar to this icon here that says templates. You want to select templates and hit save template. When you save template, you want to call it default. I saved mine as default because this is a default chart. Therefore, if I make any changes, I can always come back to the default, as a starting point. So go in there, hit type in default, hit OK, and then you'll see the drop down menu here under templates, the word default. All right. Next, adding AIRO to the actual chart. You want to select on the navigator here, which is the in the menu icon up here. Navigator, it's a gold folder with a gold star. You want to click on that one. You have your little pop out comes out here, your navigator. You want to hit the plus sign on the left side of your indicator. And you want to find AIRO. You want to double click AIRO. And you'll have the about comes up. AIRO, an Auvoria Prime product, www.auvoriaprime.com, where all your dreams begin. All right. Under common, you want to make sure you select allow DLL imports. All right. Then you go to inputs and you want to make sure that use signals alerts is true, and then push send message to your phone is true. We'll talk about that why later on. All right. This should be standard. It should be default actually, but you just want to make sure that these are the settings you have. And then after that, you want to hit OK. And then you can actually close your navigator. And then just like we did for the default, we want to also do the same thing for AIRO. So you want to come back to templates, save template, and then you want to type in AIRO, as you see I have here, AIRO.tpl, and then hit save. All right. That way, whenever you open up another chart, all you have to do is hit the templates, hit AIRO, and then the template will actually pop up on your chart, and you will be good to go. All right. That is the setup process for putting AIRO onto your chart. All right. I go over this in the back office. So if you need to, you can watch those videos again in the back office, in those videos, that in the setup video that I have provided. All right. All right. Now, next, whenever you get a trade opportunity, so every time one of these arrows pop up, and again, we'll go over the different aspects of the indicator, but whenever the one of the arrows pops up, you will get a notification on your actual computer here, or in your VPS, you'll get just a regular icon. It'll just be a little square here, a little 2-inch by 2-inch square, and it'll tell you, what the trade opportunity is. It'll say what pair it is, buy or sell, and then at what price point. All right. And again, there's rules. You don't enter in every trade. There are rules, and so you just want to go and make sure when you see that. Now, to ensure that you get those notifications to your phone, because that's the whole goal, you don't want to be sitting in front of your computer all day. You want to ensure that you have the notifications coming to your phone, your tablet device, whatever you're going to have that allows you to have access to those signals so that when you see it, you can then go and check your actual chart to see if it meets the rules. If so, jump in the trade. All right, jump in the trade. So how do you ensure that you can get the signals to your phone? Number one, you want to come to tools. So if you're on a toolbar, you want to select tools. Tools. You want to come down here to options. All right. You want to go to notifications. You want to select enable push notifications. And then here under MetaQuotes ID, you want to input your MetaQuotes ID. So what you need to do is you need to have the MetaTrader 4 app downloaded on your phone. So MT4 downloaded on your phone. And again, I showed this in the videos as well. And then under MetaTrader 4, you want to go to settings, and then you want to go to chat and messages. All right. Settings, then find chat and messages. At the very bottom of the screen, and you guys can see here on mine, it will show you your MetaQuotes ID number. Depending on, your platform, it'll be different than mine. You put this MetaQuotes ID number in here, hit the test button. It should send a test notification to your actual MT4. You'll see it on that same screen. Great. When that works, hit OK. I'm going to hit cancel because I already have mine set up. But you hit OK. And then every time you get an arrow, it will send to your phone on your MetaTrader 4. Now, to ensure you see the notification, you need to ensure that you have your notifications on your phone set up for this app, which is the MT4 app, not MT5, MT4. All right. MT4. You want to make sure you have that set up on your app. All right. That way you can get the little notification, the pop-up notification on your phone, for that app. All right. And that's it. Once you have that set up, you're good to go. Now, to receive the notifications for all pairs, and again, we'll go over this now. As you see on the bottom of my screen, I have these little tabs. These are all of the pairs that I recommend trading for AIRO. Now, you can trade more than just these 10 pairs. These are the 10 that I recommend as a good starting 10. All right. Let's go over those 10. Someone asked this question, so we're going to go over them. And just so you know, to ensure you receive notification of a potential buy or sell opportunity on these pairs, you must have all 10 open and have the software on all 10. All right. I'm working on developing a scanner so that it is less intuitive, because I know there are some for those who have more than just the AIRO license, there are some other products that the company offers that are a lot more intense from a standpoint of how much memory they need inside the VPS and whatnot. So a scanner will make it a little bit easier on the VPS. So I want to help out the overall team, AP team, by ensuring that you don't have to have a million pairs open, which will only bog down your system if you have other softwares on. So I should have that out here shortly. That way it makes it easier on the other developers and the products they have that are a little bit more intense than mine. But then also it just makes it easier on the company from a VPS standpoint. All right. And we'll go over that. It'll be a pretty cool tool. So the 10 pairs I recommend. The 6 GBP pairs. GBP, G as in girl, B as in boy, P as in planet, stands for Great Britain Pound. That is their currency that they utilize over in the UK, for example. All right. This is the first pair. GBP AUD, so the Great Britain Pound, Australian dollar. Next is the Great Britain Pound, US dollar. Next is the Great Britain Pound, Japanese yen. Next is the Great Britain Pound, Swiss franc, CHF. Next is the Great Britain Pound, Canadian dollar. Next is the Great Britain Pound, New Zealand dollar. All right. Then the next 4 are euro pairs. Euro is actually a currency that is actually stronger than the US dollar, for those who don't know. The euro is utilized over in Europe, for example. All right. If you ever been over to any of the countries in Europe, you would have exchanged your US dollars for euros. All right. And so the 4 I recommend with the euros are the Euro Great Britain Pound, the Euro Japanese yen, the Euro Australian dollar, and the Euro New Zealand dollar. All right. These are the 10 pairs. Now, how do you find these pairs? Someone asked this question as well. How do you find them? How do you add them? So first thing you want to do is you want to go to this icon here. It's called Create a New Chart. Right underneath File, it's a little icon here. It's a little chart with a plus sign. You select that, and you should have Forex pairs here, and then certain categories here with the Forex pairs you've selected. Now, if you don't see all these pairs, so for example, I would come to, excuse me, guys, FX majors, and you can see here I have 7 Forex currency pairs here. These are the 7 most traded Forex pairs in the world out of all the Forex pairs. These are the top 7. And you see here, the only one that I recommend trading is the Great Britain Pound US dollar. All the other 9 are found under FX crosses. All right. Now, if you don't have any of these on here, here's how you find them. On the menu bar next to File, you have what's called View. You hit View, come down to Symbols, and bada bing, bada boom, here it is. You have your majors, so you can open up your majors, double click on the dollar symbol here. If it's shaded out gray, that means it won't show up on that chart. All right, on right here on Open New Chart, it won't show if you don't have it double clicked. So if you double click it and it's gold, it will show. Close FX majors. You can come down here to FX crosses. Open up FX crosses, and you'll see a whole bunch more pairs. And what you want to do is double click the other 9 that I recommend, hit close, and then when you come back here to open a new chart, you have FX majors and FX crosses. All right, and all the pairs underneath them that you need. And again, let's go through that again one more time. View, symbols, go to the category of either FX majors or FX crosses. Double click the actual box icon with the $ in it until it shows gold, and then you will be able to access that on the add to chart tool right there. All right, simple as that, guys. Simple as that. Next, I recommend, especially for all the beginners, utilizing the 15-minute time frame. All right, so what is that? So right here on the menu bar, you have this icon, these icons right here: M1, M5, M15, M30, so forth and so on. These are time frames. So M15 is what I recommend, which means that each one of these candlesticks, and if you don't have candlesticks on here, which you should, you want to make sure on the actual toolbar here, right above MN, which is the monthly, you hit this icon here. And if you hover over it, it says candlestick. All right, that should be on the top menu bar. All right, this icon right here that says candlesticks. All right, and then you have that. These icons are just time frames. So M15 means that each one of these candlesticks took 15 minutes to form. So after 15 minutes, it stopped forming and it moved to a new candlestick. So each candlestick takes 15 minutes. So if I go to the H1, that means that each candlestick took 1 hour to form. All right. Somebody said the monthly. So I'm going to go to the monthly. Let's go add arrow back. Interesting. We don't have support resistance levels on the monthly. I might look into that. Great question. I'm going to have to look into why we don't have it on the monthly. Let me go down to the weekly. The weekly's good. Daily's good. H4 is good. I'll get back to you on the monthly piece. And we'll make sure with the next update that gets corrected. All right. But all these are different time frames. M1 is each candlestick took a minute to form. M5, each candlestick took a minute. Again, if you switch to it, you don't see the time frame. I mean, the support resistance zones. You just come on here and re-add the software, and it should pop back up. All right. So I recommend 4 time frames. If you are a scalper and you like to take short trades of 20 pips or less, then I recommend the M5 or the M15. All right, those are the 2 time frames I recommend. If you are a intraday trader, which means you're looking for trades of 50 to 100 pips, then I recommend using the H1 time frame. All right. If you are a swing trader and you are looking for 100 plus pips on a trade, then I recommend using the H4. All right. M5, M15 for scalpers, 20 pips or less. To be precise, M5 if you want to just 10 pip and dip, so get in for 10 pips and get out. M15 if you want to get 20 pips. And with these pairs, you can get a whole lot more than 20 pips on these 10 pairs. But again, start off with 10 pips, 20 pips on M15 until you get very comfortable and repetitive at consistently catching 20 pips. Do not overextend yourself. All right. Don't try to be one of these gurus on here showing that they caught 1,000 pips. You have to crawl before you walk, and you have to walk before you run. That is why a big reason, that greed factor, that trying to impress everybody factor is the reason why a lot of traders, fail. I've tried it with this product to make it as easy as possible to have a success, but you still have to have some level of discipline. All right. H1, 50 pips or more, 50 to 100 should be your goal on H1. All right. And then again, after that, H4, 100 plus on the H4, 100 plus. Those are what I recommend. All right. Now, before I continue, let me jump into the Q&A box and answer a couple questions real quick. I got to stop sharing and answer some of these questions here. So Jackie, for the indices, and we're not going to really talk about indices on this call. This is just an entry level call. But I recommend, again, whatever your take profit is, you need to see that same distance or more between each zone. Hernan, yes, 12 to 3 a.m. That's Central Standard Time is when I will be on. So wherever you're at in the world, 12 midnight to 3 a.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesdays. And again, we're looking to expand that, but that's the time frame as of right now. Craig, the link for the live trading sessions will be dropped into the AIRO bag chat. So if you're not on Telegram in the AIRO bag chat, get with whoever brought you in to get that link. It should be circling around out there. That way people can jump in onto that chat. That chat, and again, there's the AIRO announcements chat, guys, that we have, where we actually, we'll be sending information, both myself and then corporate information about, updating new videos, updates to the software, today's call, things of that nature. The bag chat and, of course, my live trading is separate from corporate. It's just added value that I wanted to bring to, to the, those who are utilizing the product, the actual product itself. So look out for the link there. And we're looking to change that here pretty soon so that we can give you guys more, but still have it a little bit more coordinated. Lorenzo, we'll go over strategy. We'll go over strategy 2 tonight. That's not, that's not a problem. We'll talk about that. Your initials are just SP. So that's a good question. When you receive alert for a position, for a trade, how long is that alert good for? I would say, depending, if you're on a 15-minute time frame, it's good for 15 minutes. The goal is, again, you're looking for 20-pip take profit. So if you see the alert, you get distracted, and then you come back to the chart and you see that it's already 10, 15 pips in profit, don't enter the trade. It's too late. Wait for the next trade. It's not a big deal. You're going to get somewhere between 1 to 5 opportunities. Again, not all of them may not follow the rules, but you're going to get anywhere from 1 to 5 opportunities to enter into a trade for each pair every 24 hours. So the 10 pairs I recommend means you're going to get somewhere between, 1 to 5, so 10 and 50 entry opportunities, all right? Which means you have all the opportunities you need. You don't need to catch everyone, all right? You don't need to catch everyone. We'll talk about that because the only ones you need to worry about are going to be during a specific time frame. All right. Oh, Jack, you cannot save them with the VPS. I'm gonna have to log into my VPS. I have it, but I use my own VPS, so I'll have to log into that and figure that out. So I'll log into that when we get off this call, guys, and see what issues you guys are having with what you guys can and cannot do with your actual VPS. And if that's the case, then I will make some modifications, to the code so that you guys can ensure that you have, the ease of flexibility like I have. But in the meantime, what I recommend is open up the 10 pairs, put AIRO on all 10, and leave it on the 15-minute time frame, and you'll be good to go. Even when the next week comes, you're still good to go. So leave it that way for right now. I will jump in on the VPS, that in the back office, because I use the same company that Auvoria Prime that you guys are using through Auvoria Prime, but mine's not locked down. So I will take a look at that, and I'll make the necessary changes to improve that, and we'll get an update to you guys real soon. Ryan, I'm making an update on the money zone to ensure that everyone can change their money zone time frame themselves based on where they're at, because the brokers, depending on the time frame of their server, dictates where the money zone shows. So I will ask the next update that's coming out on the next update. Look out for that here shortly. The beautiful thing is right now, guys, this is why you guys make it better, because you guys are giving me the feedback needed to make the product better, and more versatile. The great thing as well is the holidays are coming. So as you guys know, all the money that's in the market is getting ready to die off. So right now is the time to be practicing on demo and not really worried about trying to catch pips in your live account, because there's not going to be any volatility. I will have everything 100% ready to roll so that we are good to go, by the new year, when everyone starts to come back, from New Year's, and the money starts to flow back in the market, and the market gets back, to its normal self. All right. So Jack, you shouldn't have two moving averages. You only have one. There's a moving average that's kind of like standard. It's a standard on the, what's the name? Again, that's why I gave you guys my settings. You need to put my settings in, and then your chart will look like mine. It'll be a blank chart. But when you first open up MT4, the standard setting has a moving average on it. That's a standard. That's just a standard moving average. I can show you how to delete that as well. All right, so let's jump back in. I got a few more questions, but I'll ask for some of those later. Let's get back in, and we'll go over the actual strategy itself. As you guys know, if you guys are watching in the back office, strategy number two was actually launched this past week. I will launch strategy number 3 this week. And for those who don't know, there are 7 different ways to trade the indicator. 7. All right. And so every week I will drop a different strategy. This week, look out for a bonus video. I'm going to drop an AIRO secrets video. So all these smaller questions that you guys are asking that help out with trading AIRO, I'll add some of those into that separate call or that separate video this week. So look out for 2 videos this week: secrets video, as well as strategy number 3. So let's jump back into the screen here, back into the charts. So real quick, for those who have that second moving average, which is probably red, you want to right click on the screen, go to indicators list, and then you should see a moving average on there. Select that moving average, like I did AIRO here, hit delete. All right, select that moving average, hit delete, hit close, and you see that you have exactly this chart. And then resave your template. Well, actually, if you can't resave it, don't worry about resaving it. But that's how you delete the red moving average. All right. Now we're going to go over strategy number 1, and we're going to go over strategy number 2. All right. Again, I created the system to be very simple. I've had a 10-year-old actually repeat the steps back to me, utilized for trading strategy. It was at that point I knew that I had something that may be significant enough or simple enough to be utilized by the masses. So that's how simple it is. A 10-year-old could understand how to use it. All right. So we're going to go over the different aspects of the indicator so you understand what they are, what you're looking at. Then we'll go over strategy number 1, and then we'll go over strategy number 2. But I will tell you, this call will be mainly revolved around talking about strategy number 1 and number 1 only. Strategies 2 through 7 will be more or less on the live trading calls. There's a reason for that. Like I talked about earlier, you have to be able to crawl before you walk and walk before you run. Strategy number 1 is the simplest. So for everyone that's building or that wants to be, really understand and utilize and be great at using this product, that is the foundation of this product. That's where it all began, with strategy number 1. That's why it is strategy number 1. It is the most accurate. It is also, one of the most successful trading as far as high probability trades you want to take. All right. And we'll go over that. So the indicator itself, we'll start off with the zones. You probably notice these big green and red blocks. For those who don't understand what these are support and resistance areas. Now, support means what? It means, you're supporting your baby. You're holding your baby up. Or, think of the support as the floor. If I drop a ball and it hits the floor, it's going to bounce off the floor and head the opposite direction. All right. Resistance. Think of it as the ceiling. If I throw a ball at the ceiling, it's going to hit the ceiling and do what? Go the opposite direction. That's what these green zones represent. They are areas where price has turned in the opposite direction. They hit that level. They were going one direction. They hit the ceiling, turned around. They were dropping, hit the floor, turned around. All right. Next, you can see here next to the actual zones themselves, you see that it either says retest and a number or it says weak. Now, what does that mean? It means a couple of things. Number 1, the retest just tells you how many times these zones have been retested. And you see here, it started here and the price came back down here and retested again and bounced off of it again at this point. All right. the more retests you have, the stronger that zone is. All right. I'll repeat, the more retests you have, the stronger that zone is. And then, of course, if it says weak, that is a weak zone, which means that zone could most likely get broken, even though it formed. All right. This is a strong level. Price touched it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then took off. It could not break this level. All right. This is a strong retest area. It's been retested. All right. Next, you can probably notice from the difference in the chart. Again, I'll go back to the default chart. You see candles are red and green. Red, green, red, green, red, 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 green, 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 back and forth. All right. Green candles mean price is moving up. Let me zoom in. A green candle means that price started here and it closed here. All right. These wicks means that when price opened up down here, the wick means price used to be as high as up here, but it came back down and it closed right here. And then a new candle started. That's what you mean. That's what when you see those wicks, that means price used to be there and it came back down. All right. A red candle means that price started here. That's where it opened at, and it closed below it. So here's where price opened when this new candle started, and then price came all the way down here and went backwards a little bit, and it closed right here. That's why it's a red candle, because price closed lower from where it opened. It's green if price closes higher than where it opened. All right. When you throw AIRO on the chart, you're like, well, Nate, man, I got nothing but green candles. Great. Green identifies, I have an algorithm built into the software so that it identifies the overall trend to help you out with the psyche. All right. To help you out. You can see here, price is going up. Stay in the trade is green. People freak out. Look at that. That candle right there, it's going down. You can look at that candle and know this candle right here was not going up. It's heading down. And you see price starting to come back down. But you're like, well, Nate, it's still green. Great, because the trend is up. Look at that, still going up. That is to help you out and to help the beginners out, to help you feel comfortable about the trade going in the right direction. We'll talk about that in strategy number 2. All right, so that's what that is. Trend color candle. All right, just trend color candles, letting you know that the overall direction of the trend. If it's dark green, that means it's not a confirmed uptrend. Light green, confirmed. If it's this salmon or pink color, not a confirmed downtrend. Bright red, confirmed downtrend. All right. Doesn't really matter though. Pink and red go together. Green and green go together. Up or down. That's it. Then you have this blue line here. This is a moving average. I can't tell you which one it is because that's part of the secret sauce. But what is a moving average? So imagine if this was let's just say a 100 moving average, which means that it looks at the closing price of the previous 100 candles, and therefore it moves with the candle. So you see, the trend is up, therefore the line is going up. When the trend is down, the line goes down. When the price is kind of going sideways, the line goes sideways. The moving average line goes sideways. So it kind of gives you an indication of what's going on with price. All right. And as you can see here, if price is green, most of the time it's above the moving average. If price is red, most of the time it's below the moving average. All right. They go hand in hand. All right. Last but not least, two more factors. You have the little shaded area. The shaded area is the money zone. I talked about it earlier, and we're getting ready to come up on the money zone here. The money zone should be from midnight Central Standard Time to noon Central Standard Time. All right. Remember in the settings, let me pull it up here real quick. When you throw AIRO on, remember it should look like this. When you throw AIRO on, it should look like this. I'm going to add a function in this input section so that you can adjust your money zone time frame based on your broker's server time. I use Hugo's Way. If you are using Hugo's Way, you should be good to go. You don't even worry about it. If you're using Hugo's Way, broker. If you're not using Hugo's Way, then I will make on the next update, which will be coming here real soon. If not this week, then next week. It'll allow you to adjust the time frame so that yours is set up during the correct time that you should be trading. Why is the money zone important? Great question. The money zone is important because this is the time of day where over 80% of all volume happens. All the money happens, it's traded during that time frame. All right. Over 80%. You want to trade when the money trades, because when the money is trading, the big money, the market is typically trending in a certain direction, which allows you to be more successful. All right. Gives you a higher probability. No guarantees. We talked about that at the very beginning. No guarantees, but gives you a higher probability. It's all about probability. You want to increase your probability of winning. You see here, I'll give you a good example. Friday didn't really count. We had NFP, some big news. But look at here. This is Wednesday of last week. Price just kind of moved sideways. It wasn't really trending up. It didn't really trend down. Just kind of went up a little bit, came back down, just kind of stayed sideways. Once it got inside the zone, look at that. Nice drop down, big move up. Because that's where the volume was happening. For those who saw this drop and it's back up, they already know what happened. We talked about that last week. Market makers, baby. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. That is why there is a money zone. All right. And then last but not least, the arrows themselves. There are one type of arrow, as you can see here, they all look the same, but there are three reasons why these arrows pop up based on my proprietary strategy. I have what's called a trending momentum or momentum trending strategy. So when price is trending in a direction and has momentum, my indicator will notify you of that opportunity. All right. But you have to follow some set of rules, and we'll go over those in a second. There are three types of trades or strategies I have built into the indicator based on the arrows. There is a confirmed trend change. So when price has confirmed to have changed trends, number one. Number two, when price has trend confirmation or a continuation. Let me go to a different chart here. Try to find one real quick. All right, yeah, you can see all three of them right here. Let me zoom in. So we'll look at Thursday of last week, where the Great Britain pound, Australian dollar. This is strategy number one. This is a trend confirmation. You see it was in a downtrend. It came back up. Now it's confirmed to be in a trend change. Like I said, when it's green, confirmed to be in the trend. So the trend has confirmed to be changed. This is a continuation of the trend. There's a pullback and then boom, a continuation of the trend. All right. And then this is the third strategy. This one right here. This is a counter trend strategy. And we'll go over that as well. All right. So the rules. We'll go to a different pair. Let's find a good pair. Let's go to Bay. Go to Bay. I like, if you guys ever hear me reference Bay, that's GBP, JPY. The Great Britain pound, Japanese yen. During my almost 4.5 years trading, there was a time for 2 years straight, I only traded this pair. Only traded this pair, nothing else. So we become very used to trading the Great Britain pound, Japanese yen. So the number one rule is for strategy number one. We're going to go over strategy number one, guys. This is the bread and butter. This is what you want to master first before you move on to any other strategy. All right. Strategy number one is the one you want to master. Boom, there it is. So you guys know. Here is the alert box. This is what it looks like when you receive a potential trade opportunity. AIRO, Euro JPY, M15, sell at that price point. So you would come in, look at M15 to see, does it match your rules? We're getting ready to go over the rules. All right. This would also be what you see on your phone. That'll be the notification you receive on your phone as well. Matter of fact, I will show you what mine looks like because I received it on my phone. And the funny thing is, it's faster on your phone than it is on a computer. For those who can see that here, you can kind of see what it looks like. All right. So it gave me a notification for the actual potential entry here. All right. As a notification on my phone. That doesn't match the rules. I can tell you I wouldn't take this trade. You will know when it's time to take trades because number one rule is we'll go strategy number one, and then we'll go to strategy number two, and then we'll get into questions. All right. So strategy number one is the bag entry method. Remember, make sure to watch the videos in the back office, guys. Strategy number one. First, you want to identify the trend. So you want to zoom out and you want to count the zones. Whatever zones you have more of is the trend you want to trade. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3. I have 5 red zones and I have 3 green zones. Therefore, Red is resistance. Red means sell. Green is support. Green means buy. So this means that I only want to be looking for sales. All right. I only want to look for sale opportunities. All right. Next is only trade with entries inside the money zone. All right. Only trade during the 12-hour time frame of the money zone. Now, for all those of you who have a busy schedule, this is a 12-hour time frame. All right. No one really works from midnight to noon. It's a crazy schedule if you do, and I'm sorry if you do. But no one, this is the best time to trade. Now, does it work outside of that? Sure. We can look, you can see it. It works when I explain it, but this is the best time to trade. This is the time frame that gives you the highest probability, which is the goal. All right. So we know we're looking for sale trades, and we know we're only going to take sale entries inside the money zone. And then the third factor is bag. I said throw the bag in there. Matter of fact, we talked about that earlier. You guys dropped the bag in the chat, because bag, as you guys know, means get paid, get money. That's the nice slang for it. But for AIRO, bag means bounce, AIRO, go. So what do I mean? Well, we talked about it. When I drop the ball, it bounces off support, heads the opposite direction. When I throw the ball up, it bounces off resistance and does what? Head the opposite direction. So if we know we're looking for a sale inside the money zone with a bounce, AIRO, go entry, which bag stands for, then great. Bounce off the red, come down below the moving average, turn red or pink, get a down arrow. There's the arrow. That means go. So for a sale, we know we're in a sale trend. That's the trend. Boom, more red than green. Zoom in. Cool. I saw price now bounce off this and start to come down. All right, cool. With each candle, I'm waiting for the next entry. I'm waiting. All right, cool. I'm waiting. It's underneath the moving average. Great. Now I'm waiting for the arrow. Boom, I got the arrow. So I saw the bounce. I waited, or when I saw that, I got my arrow underneath the moving average. I entered my trade. Next candle. The arrow will only pop up when this candle is done for me. So when this candle right here next to it starts to form, it opens, you will then receive the arrow. All right? Now you look at your rules, bounce, arrow, it's go time. Get in the trade. You clearly see it goes backwards on you, 15 pips, which is fine, because the stop loss, our rules are 20 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss. Your 40 pip stop loss is right here. Your 20 pip take profit is right here. You obviously won that trade. Done. This is on Friday. So whoever took this trade on Friday got their 20 pips. It's a done deal. They're done for the day, or whatever your goal is, they move on. All right? That's it. Bounce, arrow, go. Look at another one. Let's go find a buy opportunity. Let's see here. All right, cool. Euro NZD. Zoom out. I have more green than red. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, more. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 3. I typically hit the zoom out button twice, 2 or 3 times. And I hit the zoom back in button about 2 or 3 times. And I hit zoom back in 2 or 3 times, depending on how many times I hit it to get back. And now I know I'm looking for buys only. Well, I didn't get a buy opportunity inside the money zone on Friday, so I don't worry about it. Well, let's go back further. I got a couple of them, though, on Thursday inside the money zone. Actually, more than a couple. I got one here. I got another one here. Now, why does this one not count? Well, look, it didn't bounce off anything. Well, look, bounce, arrow. You want to take the first arrow. All right, guys? The first one, bounce, then arrow. If the first arrow after the bounce is up, you're good. And for a sale, the same. If you get an opposite arrow first, don't even worry about it. I got a bounce and then an arrow. I enter the trade. Next candle, which is down here. 40 pip stop loss, which is way down here. 20 pip take profit, which is way up here. It hit 23 pips. You made money. You don't take this one here because there's no bounce. And then you got a bounce here and another arrow. So you took this one right here. 40 pip stop loss, which is way down here. Didn't come anywhere close. 20 pip take profit. That's 20 pips right there. That's it. That is it. And the most highly probable time frames are doing the money zone. All right. All right, great. So let me stop sharing so I can answer some more questions in the Q&A. Taylor, binary, synthetic indices. We can talk about that. I've traded those, and we can talk about those. That is more of a conversation though on Wednesdays. Again, this is just a beginner call on Sundays. So when we start getting these live trading sessions, as we wait for opportunities for trades on Wednesdays, we can talk about those types of things. So make sure to come to those calls. Rondell, no, you don't have to be up during London session. You will get the 12-hour, the money zone encompasses London session and New York. So it's a 12-hour time frame. London session doesn't last 12 hours. You can get trade opportunities during the U.S. time frame, which is New York. Herman, as far as the list of brokers, I will talk with the owners of AP about providing a list of of brokers, and just a link so that you guys can go to them and get access to them. But the person that invited you to this, to AP, make sure you talk to them. They can help you out. Charles asked a question. So if you're in a trade and it's going the wrong way, and then you get a arrow in the new direction. So if you're in the buy, price starts going in a sell, and you receive a down arrow. All right. Here's the rules. As long as you're trading, and again, we saw that happen. I just showed that. As long as you are in the realm of the right direction, you're trading with the trend in the money zone with a bag entry, you have the highest probability opportunity to win. You're not going to win every trade, guys. This isn't the Holy Grail. This isn't the ultimate cheat code. This strategy, this trading system uses sound principles to give you the highest probability opportunity of winning that trade. So if you receive one, neglect it, especially if you're in an uptrend and you get a down arrow. Neglect it. Stay in the trade, make your money. How many trades would say you one could take on arrow with $1,000 account? It all depends on your lot size. I recommend using a 0.01 lot size for every $100. So if you're using a $1,000 account, that means you can trade with a 0.1 lot size, which is $1 per pip. All right. Which means with a 40 pip stop loss, you're risking $40, which is about 4% of your account. All right. And so you think about that, if you lost every trade, it would take, what is that? It would take 25 trades for you to lose your entire account. That's 1,000 pips. All right. If you lose that, you're doing something wrong and you need to go back to the drawing board, rewatch the videos and talk about it. But just kind of give you an idea of how that works. It's really up to you as far as being busy. Really up to you if you're busy. If you're busy, again, Forex, you have to make time for it, guys. There is no such thing as this. Everyone is spoiled these days with Amazon and DoorDash, and you push a button and bring it to you guys. You have to make time for it. There are different strategies for that. If you want to intraday and swing, yes, you can. If you're more busy, you can do that. The accuracy is there no matter what. Follow the strategy number 1 or strategy number 2, which we'll go over in a second. All right, you can literally set these trades with take profit, stop loss, and forget them. Now you want to go, keep an eye on them because sometimes you will, if you're in a trade, and again we'll go over that. But let's say you're in a buy and you get a red zone that pops up while you're in the buy and you haven't hit your take profit yet. If you get a opposite colored zone that pops up while you're in a trade, immediately exit the trade. All right. Indices on MT4, we're not going to go over those. We're starting off, this is a beginner call. We don't go over indices on this call. All right. Some people say they're able to save a template with the VPS. So guys, if you couldn't save your template with the VPS, then you need to go back and actually try it again. Follow what the steps that I said. There's a lot of people saying they can actually save it. Len Arrington asks, is there a way to reach me for manual Forex tutelage? In the future, I'm in talks right now, with the owners of the company and, of making that opportunity. But there are, in AP Academy, in the back office, there are videos to help you with more of the 101 aspects of Forex, outside of just using the tool. I try to make the tool easy so that you don't need to know anything else other than the rules and then hitting buy or sell. But we'll talk more about that. That'll be announced later on down the line, going forward. Willie, you don't see a 40 pip stop loss. When you place the trade on, you have to move your stop loss to 40 pips. All right, give me 1 second. At the end, give me 1 second here. I will place in the chat, for those who don't know it, I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to place the Telegram link to the AIRO bag chat. That way everybody can join that if you have not joined that group as of yet. Let me pull up my Telegram real quick. And after this, we will go over the strategy number 2. It's going to go a little bit over an hour, guys. I apologize. You have to go. I understand. Give me 1 second here. Somebody asked about the winning percentage. I can tell you, and again, this is not my numbers, but I'm telling you based on what I saw and what the beta test group saw, they were able to win over 85% of the time. Over 85% of the time is what the beta test group was saying, as long as they follow the rules. All right. Now, again, no guarantees that you will continue to have that same level of winning percentage. But you continue to follow the rules, those same beta testers are having the exact same success last week when the product launched. So again, no guarantees, but it's continuing to show that winning percentage stays the same. But again, no guarantees. Cannot guarantee any of that. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm finding a link. I'm sending it in the group now, so you guys can save that. All right. All right, guys, I put it in the chat now. Let me know if you guys can see that. Oh, somebody already beat me to it, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So like Patrick already put that into the group. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate it, Patrick. And then for those who want to follow me on IG, I'm putting my IG in here as well. So I put my IG in there for you guys that want to follow me on IG as well. And then Patrick put in there the link for the software. All right. Appreciate it, Patrick, man. Appreciate the help. Glad that you liking the software. Elite Midas. Any plans to make an EA automated manual trade? So, funny question. Look out for it to launch next year. So there will be an automated version of this launching next year. It will only trade strategy number 1, though. It won't trade all 7. Oh, that's AIRO announcements. Okay, here's the bag chart. The AIRO bag chart. So I put that in the group as well. You guys should see that. that is the AIRO bag chart right there, bag chat. So the AIRO bag chat, again, there you guys can all talk about opportunities, trade opportunities. You guys can show your results. That's a place for us to literally just talk about it. Any updates, I'll send the updates there as well. But make sure that you're also on the announcements channel as well. So Patrick put the announcements Telegram channel in the group. I also put the bag chat in there. So that's just for you guys to show results. That's also for you guys to, just chat amongst each other about the product. Again, it's about building that culture that we need. So it's past 10 o'clock my time. Man, everybody's blowing it up. Golly, let me close this out real quick here. All right. Let us jump back into the chart to go over strategy number 2. Strategy number 2. And again, after all 7 strategies have been launched, I will only talk about strategy number 1 on this call. For the first 7 weeks, I'll go over at least the basics of strategy number of each strategy that after I launch it, the week after I launch it. So next week, we won't talk about strategy number 2. I'll talk about strategy number 3 and as well as number 1. But once all 7 are out, we will only talk about strategy number 1 going forward because that is the foundation. And when you guys are inviting your friends and family to come in, they should only concentrate on number 1. And once they master that, then they should be able to move on to number 2, 3, 4, so forth and so on. All right. So number 2. Number 2 is as I call it, trend trading. So number 2 is a strategy that will allow you to stay in trades a lot longer than 20 pips. This is a strategy that you want to use, if you are a intraday trader. Intraday means that they're not looking for a quick move. They're not looking for just 20 pips. They're looking to hold trades a little bit longer to catch typically 50 to 100 pips in that range. This is also a strategy for swing traders. Swing traders are looking to hold trades sometimes, days, weeks, months. They're looking for 100 plus pips, 100 to 1,000 pips sometimes. All right. So I typically recommend these on the H1, H4. So if we go to the H1 here, you want to do the exact same thing. You want to zoom out, look at the trend. You can see here, let me zoom out some more. You're in a downtrend, still in a downtrend. So you should only be looking for sales on this trade, on this pair here, right? And so let's go back and look at that. There are more red zones than green zones. All right, so you want to look for bag entries. So bag method entries, bounce, arrow, go. With long-term plays, if the trade comes inside the money zone, it will only aid you or help you get into profit sooner. If it's outside the money zone, that's fine because you're holding the trade a long time, longer time frame. All right, so we zoom in here. You can clearly see here that you had a bounce, arrow, go. We already know, we zoomed out. We know we have more red zones than green zones. Therefore, we know we're in a downtrend. We know we're only looking for sales. All right. You get to that trade. You see price went backwards on you, 21 pips. And then you see just inside the money zone, it dropped 126 pips. You got to 5,200 easily. Now, when it comes to your stop loss, this is where it's based off of your level of risk. How much risk are you looking to risk? For me, my goal, if I look to go long term, there's no set stop loss. My take profit may be set, but there's no set stop loss. I put my stop loss in 2 areas, depending on the trade, either at 10 to 15 pips above the previous high or above the previous zone. So what does that mean? That means that if my entry is here, the previous high, again, we're in a sale. So here's where I enter the sale. The previous high would be here. All right. And I'm looking at, 10 to 15 pips. So about right here is where I'm looking to put my stop loss at, 10 to 15 pips above the previous high, or put it above the previous resistance that it bounced off of. So here's a resistance. Then I would look to put my stop loss right above resistance up here. All right. And based on how far that is away dictates what lot size you should use. So if we look at it real quick here, from entry to top 10, 15 pips above, that's 119 pips. All right. It means that you should potentially use a small lot size so you don't risk as much as your account. All right. And then vice versa. With if you're going above the actual resistance zone here. So those who are intraday traders and swing traders typically use lower lot sizes than scalpers because the risk is typically a little bit larger based on holding the trades longer. All right. H4, same thing. You want to zoom out, 3 versus 1, so you know you're looking for sales. Zoom in. Let's throw this back on there. There we go. So we know we're looking for sales. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1. So 5 zones. I mean, you already knew that just from the H1 time frame. So the sale. All right. So we zoom in. We'll go back to that entry. There's 2 entries here. Bounce, arrow. You can see here, this came back 62 pips. I'm sorry, 82 pips. The previous high was right here. If I had my stop loss 10 to 50 pips above, I'm good. Your entry was here on this candle. 80 pips the wrong way. And then 167 pips the right way. And here are the rules. That's the entry rule. Here are the rules to the overall strategy after you enter into the trade. All right. You can stay in the trade as long as the candles are red or green. So if you're in a sale, as long as the candles stay red and below the moving average, stay in the trade. If they go above the moving average and the candle is still red, stay in the trade. The only time you exit is like right here. The candle went above the moving average and it turned green. So let's look at how many pips you would have caught. It went above the moving average, turned green, closed. That is 372 pips. It dropped as many as 645. So if you were trailing your stop loss, you would have caught a lot more than 372. But it just tells you and shows you the power of trend trading. This is why some traders love to intraday trade or swing trade, because they can catch a lot more pips and make a lot more money, even with smaller accounts. All right. Let's go look at a buy real quick. GN. Then go to H1. Zoom out. Oh, it's been selling. It's not in a buy. KCAD, G-Chef, H4. All right, great. So G-Chef, the Great Britain pound Swiss franc, is in a buy trend on the H4 time frame. All right, let's go back and look. You had we know it's an uptrend, so we know we're looking for buys only. You had a bounce, arrow, go, which means you'd have gotten a trade on this candle here. It came backwards on you, 15 pips, and it ran up to the next zone. Was that, if you took profit up here, somewhere in the 200 pip range. That's it. This is a swing trade. Again, swing trade, you're looking for 100 plus pips. Now, the rule is close the trade out if price closed below the moving average and changes colors on the candle. But if you hit an opposite colored zone first, get out the trade automatically. You hit on this candle here, it hit the opposite zone and reversed. And you see here, look, shoo, price came down. Because remember, this is the ceiling. What happens when you hit the ceiling? You come down. So if you're in the trade, get out before it hits below your moving average and below the stop loss. If you would have waited for that other rule, the other rule of exit, you'd have only caught 43 pips. More than 20, you're still positive, but I'd have got out here at over 200 pips. That is where you should have got out. It hit the opposite zone here, rejected it again, then reversed. That is your exit, 200 pips, 210 pips to be exact. When this candle closed at this zone like this, and when it rejected the zone, 210 pips is what you would have caught. All right? So entry rule, bounce, arrow, go with the trend. All right? Exit rule. Number one exit rule is if price hits the opposite color zone first, immediately exit when that candle closes. Rule number two is if price closes below the moving average and the candle changes colors exit the trade. All right, that's strategy number 2. Again, this calls for the beginners, strategy number 1. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to go back and try to answer some more questions. Those who want to jump off can jump off. That's pretty much it, guys, on the overall training of the strategies. I'm going to go back in here and just try to answer some more questions for you guys that we haven't. Someone wants me to show a losing trade and why it failed. Sure. Let's see if we can find one. Actually, I know of one that happened Friday. So the trend is a sell. All right. So these green and red zones, support resistance, the way it works with Forex, if price breaks through them, they no longer exist. So they will disappear. Everything else will not repaint on this indicator. Repainting means disappear, reappear. The only thing that will are the green and red zones, because if price breaks through them, they no longer exist. All right. So on Great Britain pound, Australian dollar, early last week, there was a red zone right here. All right. You can see it clearly it's no longer there because price broke through it and went up. But there was a red zone right here. And as you see, there were more red zones than green zone. I zoomed out. So you should be looking for a sale. Well, as you can clearly see here, you would have had a bounce off the resistance here and then an arrow right here. And then price just went the wrong way. That's going to happen. All right. That's going to happen. But you wouldn't have took this trade anyway. Why? Because it's outside of the money zone. Typically, you don't see that in the money zone. All right. So make sure you trade with the trend. But the number one reason that you will lose a trade is because you don't pay attention and you take an entry that's not that never had a bounce, or you're not trading with the trend. Or another rule is, and I forget to tell you, and I apologize, whenever you enter a trade, again, we talk about 20 pip take profit. You want to make sure, so like here, bounce, you got an arrow here. You want to make sure that there are more than 20 pips between your entry and the opposite colored zone. So here on this bounce, arrow, go in a sale, because we know it's a sale trend, you can see here it's over 156 pips away. All right. I'm safe to enter the trade because I'm more than 20 pips away. If you're less than 20 pips away, do not take the trade. But 90%, over 90% of the time that you lose a trade is because a opposite color zone will pop up and you will immediately exit that trade and you may be in a slight small loss. Very rarely does price just go backwards 40 pips. If that happens, again, it's going to happen. No one's strategy is foolproof. The only individuals that I know that never lose a trade in Forex are the banks, the hedge funds, and the market makers. And if you guys stick around long enough, you'll see videos 6 and 7, and I'll explain why they never lose trades. Other than them having the advantage of endless bank accounts, trading accounts, there's other reasons why they never lose trades. Other than that, as retail traders, we're going to lose trades. You're going to lose. But the goal is to have proper risk management, which is why I recommend the 20 pip take profit, the 40 pip stop loss, and you want to trade during the highest probable time frame to trade, all right, which is the money zone. No, John, not 40 pip stop loss for all time frames. Again, I kind of went over the differences on stop losses for the higher time frames, H1 trades for. Wednesday call, we talked about that. Midnight Central Standard Time to 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. I dropped the chat link for Telegram in the group so that you guys have access to that group so you can always get access to that call. You guys know when it's happening. Another question about making AIRO automated. It's coming next year. Lucretia wants to see about how to put the line on for stake profit and stop loss. I'll show that real quick for beginners. Let me open up my demo account so I can show you how that all works. Again, this stuff is in AP Academy as well, guys. So make sure you plug into AP Academy for this information. So let me share my screen for all beginners. You can see here. First thing I do is I right click on the screen. I come down here to the one-click trading on this menu bar. I hit that and you get this icon to pop up in the top left-hand part of the screen. All right. It gives you the sell button and the buy button. First thing you want to do is make sure you change your lot size. So right here, your lot size. So let me open up this chart. Let me see what this demo account is. This demo account is a $636 demo account. All right. So I want to do what? I recommended 0.01 for every $100. So I have $600. So I need to use a 0.01 times 6, which is 0.06. So I put that in there. So, all right, now I'm using a 60-cent lot size. So every pip I catch, I make 60 cents. All right. Every pip I lose 60 cents. All right. And then I've got the sell and buy. So whenever I get an arrow and it meets the criteria of the bounce arrow go inside the money zone with the trend, I will hit buy or sell. So we zoom out, check the trend, 2 red versus 1 green. Yep. I know that I'm looking for sales only. So let's imagine I had an arrow here and we're inside the money zone. I hit the sell button and boom, there it is. And it'll tell you over here, the trade number as well as the lot size. If you hit this button right here on the menu bar, it's called the terminal. Hit the terminal, it'll bring up and you'll see your overall balance. You also see what trade you're in, your order number, the time you put the trade on, the direction, sale, lot size, what pair, what price you got in at, and then you see your stop loss and take profit are blank here. And then it also tells you the current price, what your commission is. Here's how the brokers you're using make their money with the actual commission. And then your profit and loss. Now, how do you make or set your take profit and stop loss? Great question. So if I'm in a sale, I want price to go down. Therefore, my take profit will be below my entry. I entered in here. So I will put my mouse on the line where I entered in at. It says drag to modify. I click that line and I drag it down. And you can see over here, it tells me my order number for my, that I'm dragging here. It tells me my take profit. So right here, it says if price comes to this level, I'll make $6.20 or $6.07 US dollar. You can also see pips. It says 122 pips. That's really 12.2. So I want to come down to where it says 200 pips, which is really 200 or 20.0. So get as close as I can to that. It says 20.2. I drop it. I now have set my take profit at 20 pips. Stop loss is the opposite. Put your mouse, on the actual line. Wait till it says drag to modify. Click it. Drag it up. Stop loss is the opposite direction. Wait until you see negative 400 pips. Because that's 40.0. Boom, negative 40 points. So that's at 40.1. Now you can see here, 20 pip take profit is set, 40 pip stop loss is set. That is how you set your stop loss and your take profit. That is also how you enter into the trade and change your lot size. That's it. Make sure you practice this on your demo account, guys, first. Practice, not just because I say so, but so that if you make a mistake, you don't pay for it with real money. Practice until you understand how to use the tool. The system works. People are having success with it. But you have to know how to use not only the system, the trading system, which is AIRO, but you need to understand how MT4 works. So until you understand how MT4 works, make sure you practice on demo to ensure you are utilizing the tool correctly. All right. Now, if you want to exit the trade immediately, because again, we're in a sale. Let's say a green zone pops up right here, and we're in a trade. We're like, oh, green zone popped up. Nate says exit immediately. You want to come down here next to your profit on that exact trade, so we know I want to exit out on the Great Britain pound Australian dollar. I scroll down. If I have multiple trades on, I find, okay, there's Great Britain pound Australian dollar. I scroll over. There's an X next to your profit or your loss. Hit the X. Close your trade out in the negative or in the positive if you want to get out early as well. Because sometimes an opposite color zone will pop up and you're in profit. Hit that X to close the trade out immediately. All right. You guys got a 15-minute late alert for the Euro JPY, huh? I am not sure why you got it 15 minutes late, unless if you didn't have your chart already set up. Again, my charts were already set up. So if you put it on the chart late, you'll get it late. You have to have your chart set up. Going forward, I'm gonna start using the company's VPS to see if they made any modifications that are different than mine. That way I can make sure I'm on the same par with you guys. So give me some time this week, guys, and you guys will see any announcements in the announcement channel about that. This recording will be submitted, will be sent through the AIRO announcements channel. So every time I have a call, we record every call on Sunday, we will send it through the announcements channel. So Elite Midas, there's multiple strategies. There's more than one different strategy on why the arrows pop up. And I can tell you, I do not use RSI or TDI. And then also when we get to strategies 4, 5, 6, and 7, 4, 5, and 6, you don't even use arrows. And then the methodology behind strategy number 7, which does use arrows, is the opposite of strategy number 1. So those are for more advanced traders. So there are literally 7 different strategies that go into this trading system. That's why it's not just an indicator; it's an actual trading system, and they're all proprietary. I can't give them to you. Just follow the rules that I give you. Make money. Invite others. Tell them to do the same thing. If you cannot enter the trade within, I would say, 15 minutes, don't even look to enter the trade. And don't freak out, guys. The market always gives you more opportunity. Do not be anxious to get in. Do not be anxious to get. If you cannot concentrate on the actual forex charts, don't even trade. That is how you lose money. The money zone starts 2 hours before London. London session starts at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. The money zone starts at midnight Central Standard Time. And it goes all the way until noon Central Standard Time. So the money zone starts 2 hours before London. It encompasses all of London session and New York session, or half of New York, because New York session kind of slows down after lunch. I'm actually going to have a PDF. So someone asked about writing a list of these rules and put them in the announcement channel. I'm going to create a PDF that has screenshots and pictures and showing, and diagrams showing bounce arrow go and all the rules. It's going to have, basic information that you can actually have and download for your own content to be able to view and see for yourself. So I'll be providing that, shortly as well. MT5 is not available, only MT4. All right, so someone wants to check a loss. So check GBP USD M15 on December 4th around 11:45. Mohammed, is that 11? What time frame? 11:45. What time? GU M15. Let's go take a look here. Let me share my chart real quick. And yes, Elite Minus, the subscription is locked to one MT4. If you want more than one MT4, I recommend just getting more than one subscription. But as of right now, it is locked to one MT4 account. That is correct. So GBP USD. Let me go back to my live chart here and we'll go take a look at it. December 4th, which is Friday, around 11:45. So I'm assuming they're talking about this one here, potentially. And yes, that would have been a loss, 46 pips. All right, so why did this trade lose? As you guys see here, let's take a look at this trade here. We got an arrow here, December 4th, GBP USD M15. We got a buy arrow here, right? First of all, let's zoom out to see what the overall trend is. This is a buy trend. All right, great. We're in a buy. So here's an example of a loss. Bounce, arrow, go. And it shows the loss, but your entry actually would have been on this candle right here. On this candle. The next one, you would enter it on this candle, not at this candle. You entered it on this one, and you wouldn't have lost. It only went backwards 26 pips and then it ran up. But on Friday, the market was moving very volatile. NFP. If anyone doesn't know what NFP stands for, it stands for non-farm payroll. Non-farm payroll is when the U.S. puts out their highest news of the month. You know, they're putting out all the news, you know, about the job losses and the unemployment rates. That will move price in a very sporadic way, sometimes in one direction or both directions. You should not be trading during NFP. The indicator, there is no strategy that's going to keep you on the right side of news if news goes the wrong direction. All right? Do not trade NFP. I don't trade NFP. I didn't trade Friday. All right? Number one. And number two, I'll talk about this as well as I work to add more value to you guys from a just manual trading standpoint. There are some apps you can utilize for the news to understand when there's news. When you have red folder news, you do not need to be trading. All right? Price can and will move in a sporadic fashion if you are utilizing the news or trading around news time frame. So you need to know when news is. But this would not have been a loss because the arrow pointed on this candle, but your entry would have been at the start of the next candle. So there's a gap, it gapped down. Well, that's because it's NFP day. Don't trade on that day. All right, guys, that's all I really got. Hey, I thank you guys for jumping on. I will, this call will be, the recording will be sent to the back office. And once it's done, will be sent to the AIRO announcements channel. Patrick put that into the group. I also put the group in there. The actual AIRO bag chat group so that you guys can chat about everything AIRO in the group as well. I also dropped my Instagram if you guys want to follow me in there as well. And I'll see you guys next week. For the next 101 course, we'll talk about strategy number 1 and the new strategy number 3 that I dropped. And if you want to jump in on the sessions, the AIRO bag chat, we will drop the link in there for the Wednesday night calls. Hey, make sure to trade responsibly if you trade this week. I'll see you guys in the funny papers. Thank you.